come with me on this journey to see if I enjoy it. I honestly think I will. I really think I will. Already, this book is full of my least favorite tropes. Legitimately thought about DNFing this book at least 6 times. Hi everyone, I'm Haley. Welcome back to my channel, or actually technically this isn't my channel because it's the Hotties channel. We're doing a hottie takeover. I'm sure you've seen everyone else's videos already. What we decided to do is add a good book and a bad book into a spreadsheet anonymously so that we could all pick one using a random number generator, and then we would have to read that and make a vlog about it and see if we liked it, and then we're supposed to guess whose book it was and whether it was their good book or their bad book. I got a book that is very popular. I got Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. Is it McQuiston or McQuinton? I don't know. I know a lot of people really love this book. It's a romance novel. I'm not a huge fan of those unless it's a Helen Huang book. It's also really long. I always say that romance books should not be longer than 300 or 350 pages. This one is about 420 pages. I heard from a lot of people that they didn't like it because it was so long and because the couple gets together kind of early on. Obviously, I can make no comment. I haven't read it yet, but just the fact that it is as long as it is making me a little nervous. I have no problem with long fantasy books. I want fantasy books to be at least 800 pages, but there's no reason for a romance novel to be this long. I really don't know anything about this book other than it's about politics, because I think one of the characters' moms is like running for president, I think, and isn't one of them like a prince? I have no idea. I didn't read this synopsis, but I know enough about it because people on book Twitter are constantly talking about it, or at least they were. I don't really see as much hype about it now, but I know that people either really loved it or they really hated it. I honestly think that I could enjoy it. It doesn't take that much for me to enjoy a romance novel because all you need is a couple that has chemistry and some smut. That's all I need. That's all I need. I like my fantasy books with a side of romance. If the plot is just romance, it just usually isn't enough for me, but I've heard that this book is really good, so I'm going into it with open minds. I know a lot of the hotties, at least I think a lot of them, didn't really enjoy this book, but I know at least 1 or 2 of them really liked it. I think it'd be so funny if it was someone's good book and I just dragged the hell out of it. It's 2 men in love. All the LGBTQ plus romance novels that I have read have been with women, so this is new for me. I'm looking forward to it. This book has been on my TBR for a long time. Now I get the chance to read it. Come with me on this journey to see if I enjoy it. I honestly think I will. I really think I will. Maybe I'll like the first half of it and then the last half. I'm so mad. I can't even update my Goodreads. I'm just gonna have to suffer in silence. It's not that big of a deal. So I'm gonna go read this book and I hope I enjoy it. See you when I'm actually reading it. We're gonna do Red, White, Royal Blue today. My plan is to finish it today, but it's 5 o'clock. I mean, I could. This is a long romance book. Well, do people actually consider this to be a romance book? Because I heard someone saying the other day. Anyway, so I'm gonna read it. I haven't even read the first page. So like I said, don't really know the synopsis other than it has politics and 2 guys about to fall in love. So we're gonna go read that. I will update you with my thoughts. Also, can we talk about how I'm starting this book literally 4 days before I'm supposed to post a video? So hopefully I finish in time because I also have to read 2 other books by Friday. Basically, I played myself, but we don't have to talk about it. Update, I opened the ebook and it's 608 ebook pages. I don't like it when I open my ebooks, my romance ebooks, and they're more than like 450 pages because that's too much. It's literally longer than Girls with Paper and Fire, which is a fantasy book. Like what is the reason? Anyway, let me go back. So far, I am bored. Is that too harsh? I'm gonna keep reading. Obviously, I have to. Why does my ear look like that? It's so ugly. Is this hate to love? It's 6 o'clock and I read like 5 pages because I got distracted because I was talking about throwing a glass with my friend. 1. 2, I was reading my book because I'm supposed to be doing revisions. 3, Also, my friend said she was gonna walk to my house and she never came, and that was like 2 hours ago, so I'm wondering if I should be concerned. 4, things are just starting to get interesting. I'm on page 15, 16. The past 5 pages have been pretty interesting. But then they said something about being arch nemesis with like Alex and Henry. All I'm gonna say is if this is hate to love, I'm not here for it, especially when it comes to contemporary books. It never works for me. So already I'm going in with a terrible attitude. Maybe it'll be better. It's honestly so embarrassing that I'm reading this book so much slower than I read The Priory of the Orange Tree. That book is 200 times more complicated than any other book I've read. And this one should be simple because they keep on talking about modern shit. Yet I'm out here about to fall asleep. I feel like I'm forcing myself to read. Okay, so I just got to the famous wedding cake scene, and the only thought that I have is that I thought that the Ellen in this book was Ellen DeGeneres, and I was like, oh my god, Ellen is in this book, what the hell? Turns out it's just Alex's mom. Also, they're doing this thing where it's like the forced proximity or whatever, where the two people that don't like each other have to like spend time together, and I don't like hate to love. So I'm not having a good time right now. The idea of them like having to spend time together right now, to me, I want romance to I just want them to start fresh. Just be in love already. I don't like the hate to love. I will say there was one cute scene at the beginning where Alex was talking about how he had a little mini poster of Henry from the magazine and he constantly staring at him when he was younger, and I was like, aw, you love him. And he was like, he wanted to be him, and I was like, no, you want to be with him. It's getting a little better, but I'm still not that invested or interested. I've been highlighting some lines. Definitely not that many lines, but mostly lines that I am finding entertaining. So I highlighted the part where they knocked over the cake because that was funny. You can see. I highlighted some stuff that Ellen said. Ellen's pretty funny. She said, "You're a dumbass, love you." That's pretty much it. And here they're like, you have to make a statement to say that what happened at the royal wedding was a complete accident and a misunderstanding, which it was. And you have to say that you and Prince Harry have been close personal friends for the past several years. Wait, Prince Henry. And obviously Alex is like, how am I supposed to do that? He has the personality of a cabbage. I don't even know where this hate is coming from. Like, did I miss something? So this is not the fake dating trope. This is like the fake friend trope. Already, this book is full of my least favorite tropes, and I'm not trying to hold it against the book because I personally believe that any trope can be done well, except for the miscommunication trope. We know that. But any trope can be done well. Hate to Love obviously worked with Rowan and Aelin. For me, they're my favorite couple ever. The Hate to Love and the Honeymooners did not work for me. Hate to Love here, so far, it's just, to me, I don't understand why they hate each other. Actually, I don't think Henry hates Alex. I think Alex just hates Henry. I think that things will get explained, and if they don't, then I'm gonna be mad. Oh my god, what if they actually become friends and then it becomes best friends to lovers? I could get behind that. You know I love a good best friends to lovers. I'm starting to have a more open mind now, because if it does turn into friends to lovers, like, I'm here for it. I'd be so mad if someone knocked over my $75,000 wedding cake at my wedding. I'd be so mad. I'd be like, I never want to see you again. I'd be like, give me my $75K. Not even that though, because when you ruin a cake at a wedding, like, what? That's like the one thing everyone's looking forward to, right? Eating the cake. What the hell did they do? Did they eat it off the floor? Did they not have any cake at all? I'd be so mad. Like, you can't fix that last minute, you know? And it's a royal wedding too. Like, that's a lot of people that they have to feed cake to. So they just didn't get dessert. This is the thing that I'm the most invested in so far. I wonder what I'm gonna rate this book, because I feel like whatever rating I give it, someone's gonna jump down my throat on Twitter. I'm reading a review for this book because I wanted to see if I'm having any thoughts that other people were having. My opinion is very unpopular. I knew this because this is like one of the most popular books of 2019. This person, well, first of all, they pointed something out that I agree with, and the main premise of this book is that it's enemies to lovers, which it's not. It's supposed to be enemies to lovers, because what I'm getting now is not enemies to lovers. If I were to pitch this book now to someone, I would not say enemies to lovers, but I guess that that's what it's trying to do, but it's not. Even if it had been pitched as enemies to lovers to me and I went in with that expectation, I probably wouldn't have been that disappointed, because I don't really care about enemies to lovers. But just the fact that it's saying that that's what it's supposed to be and it's not, that's kind of ridiculous to me. And why does it need to be so long? I'm honestly just mad, because I feel like the book should be over in like 100 pages and it's still 400 pages. I don't even know if I'm gonna get through this, honestly. I just read someone else saying that they think that this book is supposed to be highly idealistic as a way to like escape and deal with the trauma of like having Trump in office and like having this terrible political climate right now, which I can totally see that being a thing. And I think that this book is so far like an interesting way to show that. If that is the case, if that's like actually the point of the book, I can totally see that. But that doesn't mean that I like the romance. Like, I like their banter, but it just doesn't translate into chemistry for me. And it's not just between the two love interests, it's between literally everyone in the book. And I'm just like, I think that Alex has more personality than Henry, but I just like Henry better because Alex is like a bit too much for me. I don't even know. It's because Alex is like so aggressive about certain things, and I'm like, you're wrong. Like when he's like, Henry, you're so boring, you're such an asshole, and I'm like, you don't know him, like, relax. I know a lot of people don't like the politics in this book. Politics are bothering me right now. I don't really think they will. I feel like I'm being really hard on this book right now. I don't even want to read it anymore, because I got what I need. I'm over it. 200 pages in and I don't want to read. I wonder what's gonna happen in the next 200 pages, because right now I'm just not invested. I don't even care. Like, I just don't care what happens next. It's not even that I don't want to read because it's bad. It's just I don't care. And I would rather read something else that I'm thoroughly enjoying. But maybe it'll get better. The part where they got drunk at the bar and did karaoke has been the best part of the book so far. I'm almost halfway through. It is a one part of the book that I like. I will not elaborate. It was fun. It was fresh. It was nice to see. It was cute. We love to see it, but that's it. It's not bringing this book up from a 2-star. So I'm on page 300 something and I'm tired. Like, I'm not reading anymore. It's 1:30 in the morning. I'm still forcing my way through this book. Like, I don't have the brain cells right now to explain my thoughts. Legitimately thought about DNFing this book at least 6 times. Obviously, I have not DNF'd it yet. And it's too late now. I feel like people are gonna kill me for not liking this book. I'm sorry. Like, genuinely, I feel bad. I'm just not vibing with it. Oh, I guess I should talk about the book while I'm doing this. Hold on. My thoughts. So far, I'm 300 pages in. Things are starting to happen. Conflict is happening. They had a fight. I found out when I was reading reviews last night, because I was so close to just not finishing this book. And then since I know that I can't really DNF it because of this like challenge or whatever, I was legitimately just gonna go through and just speed read, because I was like, I can't do this anymore. But I was reading reviews. There were like 2 negative reviews on this whole book. There were a couple people that were like, I just thought the ending was unrealistic, you know, with these politics are unrealistic, like it was just too idealistic, blah blah blah. And like I said last night, some people think that this is supposed to be an idealistic like version of our reality in order to help people cope. So I understand that. Also, I'm not expecting this book to end any other way than happily, because it's a romance book and we get that happy ending. Here are my thoughts. Okay, there are a lot of things going on in this book. There's like stuff with the family, stuff with politics, stuff with the romance, homophobia, like whole bunch of shit, right? Those are all important things to tackle. And I think it could work, but I think that the way that stuff is getting handled in this book is not really, it's not being done well, because I feel like for a lot of the book, obviously the romance is like the main focus. It's a romance book, as it should be. Then I feel like randomly we'll have like this huge explosion with the family. And I'm like, I didn't even know that the family had this much tension, because there was one scene in the beginning where they had like this fight over a family dinner. And then like a couple hundred pages later, they're like, yeah, our family is like a mess, or like they had this huge explosion and June was yelling at Alex and being like, you're being like mom. And I was like, I didn't know that this was an issue, because I feel like it's just not consistent. All of the components that this author is trying to tackle, they're not flowing well or being done consistently. So it kind of feels like some things are coming out of left field, like literally just coming out of nowhere. But that could also just be me not paying attention closely because I'm really bored while I'm reading this book. I hate to say it, but I just am not having a good time while reading it. I've never felt this way while I'm reading something, by the way. And I think part of the issue is that I know that this book is so hyped, because I did have really, really high expectations. And it's not meeting those expectations, but it's also not meeting my basic expectations that I have of contemporary romance books. I feel like this book is just trying to do too much. And I understand now why people feel like this book is unnecessarily long, because I feel like there are so many scenes that are just not necessary. They don't even really have these interactions that where we are like finding out new information about them. It's like half and half. Like sometimes they'll have a really, really intimate moment where we're like learning about both characters and learning about their relationship and, you know, getting them closer together. But then other times it's literally just them just, why do I need like 3 pages of this? I don't even know. It's just, I don't know. There have been so many times where I've been reading and I'm like, what am I reading? I like what this book is trying to do, but I am just not connecting with it at all, which sucks, because I feel like this could be a very, very good book for me. And I'm glad that a lot of people enjoyed it, because I'm sure that a lot of people did feel some type of escape with this book and did enjoy it in that manner. But for me, I'm just not. I think the politics are pretty interesting. And like, that's also a big part of the conflict in their relationship, because the mom is like, well, you can't ruin my re-election. But then again, even that is like only brought up like a couple times. And I feel like it needs to be more consistent if it's going to be a proper conflict. I genuinely think that enemies to lovers needs to be slow burn, first of all, in order to work successfully. This was not slow burn. I think that this book could have slapped. I mean, who knows? I might have been even more bored if this was happening, but it could have slapped if they were like actual enemies and then they became friends, like best friends, and then they became lovers, because it's the way they just went from thinking they hated each other to just talking all the time. Like, I don't even know, you guys. Like, there's just no development in this relationship. I totally understand why people like this book, and I totally understand why people are entertained by this book. It's just, I'm not saying that it's like objectively a bad book. I don't think that that is a thing. It's just not the book for me, I guess. And honestly, what was I expecting? Because I'm not a huge fan of contemporary romance in the first place. Mind you, I read fantasy. I want to try and finish this book before like 4 o'clock, because I need to edit this vlog and upload it so it's ready tomorrow. And I also need to read 2 other books by Thursday. Today's Tuesday, so we need to get this done. Curious to know how they're gonna work out. I feel like it would have been more interesting to examine the actual consequences of what it would be like if they were together, or if people knew that they were together, because obviously we know that people are homophobic, but I'm talking like legitimately, because Henry was like, I can't just leave my family. I don't have that choice. Versus with Alex, he's like, you don't have to be in politics. I don't know. I just feel like I would have liked to see more of that. Obviously the book's not over yet, so maybe we will see more, but right now I'm getting a little bit of nothing, and I would like more. Hopefully we will see more. I don't expect my opinions of this book to change that much in the last stretch, because right now I'm like, this book is gonna get 2 stars, maybe 3 stars. I'm honestly considering not rating it because I feel bad and because I don't want people to jump down my throat. But I know for a fact it's not going to be a 5-star. We would be very surprised if I finish this book and I'm like, oh my god, I love it. My main issue that I'm having with this book is that I'm just bored. And that is an issue that I feel like is hard to fix they might be changed. If I were to like read this book again during a different time period in my life, maybe I would have different feelings and it would have different entertainment to me. I'm gonna go finish this book now. Oh my god, it'd be so funny if my next clip is me finishing the book and I'm like, guys, I loved it so much, I cried, 5 stars. Can you imagine? I genuinely thought I would like this book. I'm gonna go finish this book. I'm probably not gonna have a good time. I'm on the last 40 pages. I got distracted for a couple hours, so it's like 3:25 and I'm only just now getting back into reading. This is the best part of the book so far. I don't know if it's because it's almost over or if it's because it genuinely just is better, but they're finally like confronting everything, working through the conflict, and it's interesting. But I wonder what else is gonna happen because there's still like 40 pages left. I'm in the mood for love. I feel like the progression of the relationship with this book just happened way too fast and there wasn't as much development as I would have liked to see. So I definitely think that that's why I wasn't as invested, but I really love the idea of this book and I love that so many people found so much comfort in this book. I wish I could have found the same. Okay, so I finished. I don't really have any different thoughts than what I've been saying for this past however long this vlog is. I'm disappointed because, and I don't know if it's because my expectations were too high. I just don't like long contemporary books. I gotta be real, I gotta be honest. It's just, this book was never gonna work for me, apparently. I feel bad because I know that this is a lot of people's favorite read of 2019. I don't even know, I can't even say that I enjoyed reading this book and just had problems with it because I feel like it was the opposite. I just didn't feel connected to any of the characters or just any of the story. I just wasn't invested at all and that's just it. I just wasn't entertained by the book. Usually when I read books just in general, all I'm looking for is some entertainment. But for this one, I was just bored. I will say I liked the last like 100 pages because I think that's when the stakes actually started to get kind of high and I felt more tension and I actually felt a little bit intrigued. I don't even know how I would rate this book. I kind of attempted not to rate it just because I mean, I really shouldn't be afraid to give books low ratings. I will say that it's definitely not higher than a 3. So, I mean, I don't know if I'd give it a 2 or 3 stars. I'm gonna have to wait on it. Come to my Twitter if you want to see what I officially rated it or look at my Goodreads. I can't even explain it. I just legitimately was not entertained by this book and that is the bare minimum that I asked for a book to do for me. I didn't like how the romance was paced. This book is not enemies to lovers. Whatever anyone tells you, it's not. Don't listen to them. Just in general, don't listen when anyone says enemies to lovers nowadays. Like, no one even knows what that is anymore, I swear to God. I tweeted, I was like, I'm not touching contemporary romance for at least a month after this. And I feel that heavily still. So there were some cute moments and I appreciated the humor in the book. And again, I want to reiterate that I understand how and why a lot of people like this book. This is not one of those situations where I'm like, I don't understand how anyone like no, I totally understand. It's just for me, it just did not hit with me. Okay, so just one more thing I have to say. I genuinely believe that I read this book at the wrong time. I was not at all in the mood for a contemporary romance. That being said, I think that any really good book has the power to make me enjoy it. And if I'm in a reading slump, any good book has the power to make me want to read again. And if the book isn't good enough, then I'm not gonna like it. It's not gonna take me out of a slump. It's not gonna make me like the genre or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Even though I had an open mind, I did at the very beginning. I was like, I'm excited to read this book. The only reason why I didn't really enjoy it, and I'm not saying it's a bad book. To some people, it's not bad. And I feel like it's really hard to say that objectively a book is bad, because our opinions are subjective. I know a lot of people also had a problem with this book being written by someone who was not a gay man. And I can totally understand that, especially with the amount of fetishization there is of gay men. I'm not a gay man, I really can't speak on that. That is something to take into consideration. Comment down below what you thought about this book. I wonder if this was someone's good or bad book. I'm pretty sure it was someone's good book because I feel like there are more people in the chat who liked this book than didn't like it. I'm done talking about this book. Please check out the other hotties videos. We're gonna have a live show for our group book, The Vanishing Half. That'll be on Friday. Like this video, subscribe, follow all of the hotties hotties and keep supporting the hotties. And yeah, see you very soon for our next video. Bye.